11 things found after Japanese tsunami. Number 11. A Harley-Davidson motorcycle. This bike was lost at sea after the devastating tsunami that swept Japan in 2011 and was discovered a year later in April by a man named Peter Mark on Graham Island in British Columbia. The Harley was found inside its container that its owner, Aikyo Yokohama, had used to store it back in Japan. When Mark discovered it, he realized that the license plate was Japanese and could possibly be linked to the debris from the tsunami's aftermath. It was then traced back to Mr. Yokohama. After discussing several different ways to try and ship the motorcycle back to Japan, Mr. Yokohama ended up deciding to donate the bike to the Harley-Davidson Museum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as a memorial to those who lost their lives, and among those were several of his own family members. Number 10. A village sign. There were large amounts of villages that were destroyed by the tsunami, which was the result after a 9.0 magnitude earthquake, and one of them was the Tanohata village. A massive amount of the town that is located in the Iwate prefecture was washed away. It would be around 2 years later when a wooden sign that was among the debris would be discovered. The sign was found on October 2013 on Kahuku Beach, Oahu Island, Hawaii. The 10-foot-long slab of wood carried the name of an apartment building named the Shamanokoshi Village Housing. It was flown back to Japan in 2014 with the help of U.S. state and Japanese federal authorities. The sign is now exhibited as a reminder to the town and for future generations to come. Number 9. A soccer ball. When the 2011 tsunami struck Japan, it had swallowed the home of 16-year-old high school student Mizaki Murakami, located in Rikuzen, Takata, along with all of his possessions. It would be a little over a year later before his soccer ball would be discovered on Middleton Island, Alaska, by couple David and Yumi Baxter. The ball was a gift from Murakami's classmates, given to him as a moving away present when he switched schools. Yumi Baxter, being Japanese herself, was able to translate the good luck message, the boy's name, and the school's name on the ball, and eventually helped reunite the ball with its owner. Murakami was quoted as saying, "I was shocked, but also I've yet to recover a single one of my belongings, so I'm really happy about this." Number 8. A rowing boat. On April 7th, 2013, a skiff, or rowing boat, was discovered on the seaside of Crescent City, California. The boat, whose name is Kamomi, or Seagull as it translates to, was owned by a local high school that was located in Rikuzen, Takata. The school had been completely leveled by the tsunami's wave that occurred 2 years prior. The students at Del Norte High School in Crescent City helped clean the boat of the many barnacles that were stuck to it and returned it home with the aid of Japanese and U.S. officials. The two schools would eventually trade visits with one another and ultimately become sister schools. This storyline was so moving that it even inspired a bilingual illustrated book for small children. Number 7. A fishing boat. One of the more famous pieces of debris happens to be the appropriately titled Ghost Ship. This vessel was first seen just off the coast of British Columbia in the province of Canada on March 23, 2012. The 164-foot squid fishing ship, whose actual name was Ryu Unmaru, was posing as a threat to local shipping boats, and a decision was made to sink the ship. The ship eventually sank roughly 195 miles from the town of Sitka, Alaska, after being blasted by several bursts of naval cannons. This happened to be one of the larger pieces of debris and got massive amounts of attention. However, there needs to be a shift in focus on the smaller sizes of debris that are accumulating in the ocean and then washing up on shore and polluting beaches all over. Number 6. A Japanese dock. This piece of debris happened to be part of a Japanese dock that was torn from its moorings during the tsunami and washed up on the shores of Oregon and brought back what researchers believed to be about 100 tons of sea life. Scientists from the Oregon State University state that the 66-foot-long deck has around 13 pounds of organisms per square foot. The dock did not show any signs of radiation from the Fukushima nuclear plant meltdown caused by the tsunami, but it did pose the threat of carrying invasive species. What that means is that these creatures that aren't natives to the area could potentially throw the local ecosystems out of whack and cause irreparable damage to the native wildlife, such as the dreaded zebra mussel. Number 5. A mystery creature. There have been some unusual things that have washed up on random shores after tsunamis, this being one of them. After the 2011 tsunami hit, this giant white mass had been washed out onto the shore of Japan and had many of the locals, along with everyone who watched this video on YouTube, wondering what it even was. Some thought it to be a brand new creature that had risen from the dark depths of the ocean floor, while others speculated it was merely a large rock or boulder. Don't worry, officials have concluded that this isn't some new species that's going to wipe us out. They simply stated that it's most likely just a mass of whale blubber from the carcass of a dead whale that's pretty much unrecognizable. Number 4. A shipping tote. Back in November of 2014, this shipping tote had washed up near the shores of Seal Rock in Oregon. This 4x5 foot plastic shipping tote had been floating out at sea for the last 3 years since the tsunami struck and amassed around 200 blue mussels that were attached to it. Like the dock that was found in 2012, this tote was a potential host for carrying invasive species, and scientists eventually determined it as a non-threat to the surrounding environment. Still, the amount of debris, the total estimated to be around 18.11 million tons, with 70% of the debris sinking to the bottom of the ocean, is still rather high and is still washing up years after the tragic event took place. Number 3. Various trash. A barge from the fishing town of Ucluelet